Hello class 5 students. In this chapter, the United Nations, we have seen that what is United Nations, that it is an international organization which helps to maintain peace and security in the world. It promotes friendly relations through cooperations among member nations, and settles disputes peacefully. And we have seen why there was what were the causes that led to the birth of the United Nations organization. That is the massive destruction, the devastation in the world wars, mistrust among nations to prevent nuclear warfare, all these things. We find that after the First World War, in 1919, there was the League of Nations, but the League of Nations could not establish peace. And so after the Second World War, that is in 1945, the Atlantic Charter was signed, and finally we find that on 24th October 1945, the birth of the United Nations organization, and India joined on 30th October 1945. As many as 192 countries are the members. We find the objectives of the UN, and then we find the 6 main organs of the UN, with the Security Council being a very important part, and the last organ, the Secretariat, where the Secretary General was elected for a term of 5 years, is the most important person, for the sole reason is that he alone has the power to implement the decisions of the UN. We have the other organs also, the General Secretary, then the Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, which is not very functional right now, the International Court of Justice, and the General Assembly, the Security Council. So, and the Secretariat is also very important because it looks after the day-to-day activities of the of the United Nations, day-to-day functioning of the United Nations, and it also keeps record of all the other all the other organs of the UN. So when we studied about the Economic and the Social Council, we studied that its primary function is to maintain peace and security, and also to look after the economic growth and the social progress, and the health, status of women, then humanitarian work, and human rights, employment, all these things. And it has special agencies to look after the poor, the sick, and the illiterate. So now what we are going to do is we are going to study about the specialized agencies of the United Nations. Besides the 6 major organs, there are many specialized agencies which work in the interest of the human welfare. They work under the supervision of the Economic and Social Council. Exactly, that was the reason why I was talking about that. Now, first is the United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF. The United Nations Children's Fund was set up in 1946 to provide food, shelter, healthcare to children affected by the Second World War. So the primary objective of the UNICEF, or the United Nations Children's Fund, was to provide food, shelter, and healthcare to those children affected by the Second World War. It focuses on improving the quality of the life of children by creating awareness about their health and education, about children's health and education. It tries to solve the problem of child labor. It works for the welfare of children, especially in developing countries. So UNICEF is very active in all the developing countries. It looks after the issue of child labor, that is under the age of 14. No child can be employed to do any kind of work, but child labor now it has lessened to a great extent, because that awareness has been created and laws have been very strict. But previously there was a big problem of child labor in India. It's not that it's not there at all now. And another thing is that this UNICEF also creates looks after the looks after means tries to improve the quality of the children by creating an awareness regarding their health and education. And it also solves various problems, other problems. It organizes a number of programs to generate funds to help children all over the world. The sale of UNICEF cards is a major source of income. Yes, its major source of income is the sale of UNICEF cards. UNICEF also provides assistance to young mothers and provides guidelines on improving their health. Its headquarters is in New York. Not only children, but it also helps mothers. Okay, means women who have become new mothers. Okay, young mothers, and provides guidelines on improving their health, because unless it's said that unless the mother's health improves, the child's health will also not improve. Then we have the UNESCO, that is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization was set up in 1945. So UNESCO was set up in 1945. It works on improving the lives of millions of people throughout the world by emphasizing on the need of education. So its primary focus is on education. UNICEF, the primary focus is on children and everything related to children, their health, education, all other needs, and along with it the health of the young mothers are also taken into consideration. In the same way, UNESCO, the main focus is on education. It encourages international cooperation among its member states in the fields of education, cultural education, science, culture and communication. Its headquarters is in Paris. The headquarters of UNICEF is in New York, and this is in Paris. We stop here today. We will do the rest of the last half of the chapter in the next class. Thank you.